Hey guys, welcome to this week's team call. It is June the 13th, so we are almost halfway through this month already, and I wanted to go over this topic about momentum and growth with momentum. It's one of the things that when you get started, you can feel the momentum in your business. Maybe you have experienced it before, maybe you went through a high and then a low, whatever it may be. Momentum is one of those things that are kind of essential to help move your business forward. And so I'm going to share my screen because I do have some slides. One second here. All right. So creating momentum for exponential growth. And what does momentum mean? So obviously you guys probably have, learned this in school and everything, but basically momentum is just a mass in motion, or, some may describe it, especially for business and things like that, they describe it as a necessary force and requirement for winning and being successful. You can feel it usually when you feel like your life is all in balance and everything seems to be going right. A lot of times if you take a day off, I don't know if you have ever experienced this, you probably have, you do really well for a week when you're consistent in everything, you feel at the top of everything, and then something happens and you kind of drop off and you're like, now everything's kind of out of balance. But when you experience momentum, it is a good feeling because you can feel everything moving forward and going the way that you want it to. So why would you want momentum in your business and what you are working towards? Because if you are in motion and you have that momentum going, you're going to usually continue it unless something stops it or halts it along the way. It will, if you want to change or grow your business, then it's necessary. It also can determine how high and how fast you go and get there to where you want to be as well. And then obviously speed of the leader is speed of the team. So if you are not creating that momentum in your own business, then your team is not going to have that momentum either. The speed in which you go is usually the speed in which everyone else will go. They will follow your pace. So how do you get it? There's several different ways to get it, and a lot of the things are super simple that we can do every single day, but a lot of the times they are overlooked just like anything else. But these are the top 8 things. So number 1 is to focus on the short-term and small wins. So what can you do now? It's not what can you do tomorrow, what can you do next week, what can you do next month. It's what you can do right now in the moment, what will help you to move your business forward. A lot of the times it's just really just inviting people, talking to people, and following up with people. Your messages is the biggest thing. So what is the short-term thing that you can do now? Share it with people, message people, invite them and ask them the question. Have they ever thought about doing what you do? Would they want to participate in one of your groups? Super simple and easy, but that's what you can do right now. And then obviously focusing on your own, workouts and drinking Shakeology every day. Basically the 4 vitals, but break it down into bite-sized chunks. So you might want to ask yourself, what do I ultimately want and what do I need to do today to reach it by a date in which you want that by. So say I want to, pay off, or I want to go on this vacation. Well, when do I want to take this vacation and how much money will I need to get there and go on this vacation? Or maybe you have, you want to pay off something, what date do you want to pay that off by? And then break it down into bits and pieces. So break it down into a month, what do you need to do every month? What do you need to do every week? What do you need to do every day? And I've done a call on like goal setting and things. So if you haven't seen that yet, that's what I would watch on how to goal set and then kind of break it down from there. But if you break it down, then you know what you need to do every single day. And then you focus on the short term and small wins. When you do that every single day, then that is the short term and small wins. So number 3 is quantity first. So this is something that I have to tell myself a lot and remind myself of, is just, what have you been tweaking and revising but not finishing? So me, I like to tweak things, I like to revise things, I like to create new content and things like that, but a lot of times the things that get started get overlooked. And like I said, then the short-term and small wins often get overlooked. So it's great that you start and you want to do all of these things, but a lot of times you don't need to do everything, and you shouldn't do everything. You can delegate things, but you have to do what is important and what you can do that day more than, making new content and things like that. So if you are, say a very busy mom, and maybe you only have 30 to 60 minutes a day for your business to get a power hour in, then that's what you need to focus on. You don't need to, reinvent the wheel and things like that. So don't focus on those things. Focus on what is important that will help you to build that momentum, rather than focusing on things that will not. So this kind of goes in with number 4, is results, not activity. So it's what do you want to achieve today, tomorrow, and next week? So what do you want to achieve today? Do you want to get that, what you broke down, get that done today? Maybe it's a couple other things on top of that, whatever it is. Know what you need to work on, and then go ahead and get to it. So that's number 5, do it now. So develop the urgency, focus on one task at a time to complete it, and then move on to the next. I make a list. I use lists all the time. Some people don't like lists, but I find that you are so much more productive if you can cross things off and say that you got it done after you did get it done. So you'll probably notice, if you guys were here and looking at, my desk area, I have lists everywhere that I will ask myself at the beginning of the day, what do I need to do? Or the night before, what do I need to do tomorrow? And then as I go through it, I will kind of write down, like, what's the first thing I need to do? What's the second thing? What's the third? Like, what is the most important thing? And then kind of go about it like that. If you have not read or listened to Eat That Frog, that is a great book if you want to know, like, kind of like to break that all down and like, what do you need to really focus on if you struggle with that. And I highly recommend it. I have it on Audible, and I listen to it every couple of months, because I have a bad habit of wanting to do everything that's not as important, rather than what is really important, what will give me the best results for what I want to achieve. So then also knowing why you want it. Why do you want to get there? What will it allow you to do? How will it make you feel when you get there? And I feel like this is not only business side of things, but also health and fitness. I've also talked to some of my challengers who are like, I can't stick with it, or I can't seem to stay focused, or I start and I stop. And I've totally been there, and we all have that moment. So I ask them, plain and simple, like, what do you want? And what is that going to allow you to do? And then how is it going to make you feel when you achieve that? And that kind of helps them to be like, okay, that's what it's going to allow me to do. That's why I'm working for it. And there are going to be times where you have highs in this business, like I said, and then you have days where, or maybe months where you feel off and you don't want to do it. You have other things going on, maybe stress, maybe whatever else it may be, but you're going to have to know why you want it to work through it on those days that you are not feeling it at all. And then number 7 is just get in the right mindset. So obviously it's not what happens to you, but it's how you respond to what happens to you that matters. All of us have our own lives. We all have things that we're going through or have dealt with, maybe your husband's deployed right now, or maybe, just a family member is sick. Whatever it may be, if you have the right mindset, you can work through that and get there. It just ultimately is your mindset. So that's why personal development is so important. I try and listen to a small clip every single morning. I know you guys have heard me talk about it before, but the Darren Hardy, I get an email Monday through Friday every morning. It's, like 2 to 5 minute video of just personal development. And I listen to that every morning, Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, I will listen to another coach that I admire, one of their short videos and tips and whatever, just something in the morning. And then later on in the day, I may read an article, or I may read a book that I'm reading at that time. It just kind of depends, but your mindset is so key, because that is what can help you, or it can do the opposite. It can totally make you not do anything at all. So, and then of course, number 8, repeat. So basically, you have to do this no matter how much momentum you build in your business. So I've done it to myself before. I got to diamond, and then I quit doing the things that got me there, because I was like, oh, I made it to diamond, but I didn't push past that. So I got to diamond, and then I lost it because I wasn't doing the short-term things, that got me there in the first place. So then I went backwards. So you have to keep doing it and being consistent with it to keep that momentum going. So the formula, and I got this from Lindsay Matway, who got it from, I watched it in one of her videos on momentum, and she got it, I believe, Entrepreneur Leadership. It's a personal development book about business and leadership and being an entrepreneur. So I thought it was so awesome, because it's so true. So the F in this formula stands for focus. The I stands for intensity, so focused intensity over time, and then multiplied by belief equals your momentum. So I want to break this down here in a little bit, but I write this down, whatever you have to do, remember this, because these are the things that will help you to ultimately create your momentum for however much momentum you want in your business. So you have to create the right mindset for momentum. And I already kind of touched on this with personal development, but it's more bringing that focus. So these are the things that you have to get in the right mindset. And if you are not in here for the long haul to, I see it all the time, people get in and then they don't want to do the work. And it does take work. It does take time. So it's that work and that time that will get you there to where you want to be. But a lot of times people don't want to wait for it, and they don't want to put in the work for it. So, and it ultimately is how much work you want to put in, which I'll get to. So mindset of momentum. Small wins every day will add up to the big results. So those small wins that I was talking about, those small actions that you can do every single day, will add up to the big results. So it's about being consistent to get there over time. The other thing is telling yourself, I need to do this today, or I need to do this every day, or else I cannot, or I can't do this. And, I can't hang out or play with my kids if I don't take care of myself. You know what I'm saying? So if you need income, I need to show up in my business every day, or else I can't create the income I need for my family, or I need to do this. So the other thing is the speed in which I will go will determine the speed of my team. A lot of this is kind of repeat, but you have to remind yourself of these things to create that momentum in your business. So how much time and effort are you willing to do and put in? Any day I take off will only hinder my momentum, because you are either constantly in motion, either going forwards or you're going backwards. So you're not really stagnant in any way. So you might feel like, oh, nothing's going anywhere. but really it's either going forward or backwards. So questions to kind of ask yourself are how much time am I willing to do what it takes to reach my goals every day? You know, are you a busy mom and you only have maybe a 30-minute window? Great. That's how much time you are willing to put in every single day. It's wherever those pockets of time you can create for your business, that's how much you are willing to put in. And then schedule that time. You know, if you can put in a couple hours a day, maybe you have a huge lofty goal, and that's okay. Maybe your goal isn't that big, and that's okay too. We are all different in that. But if you have a bigger goal and you want to achieve more, then you're going to have to put in more time. That's just all there is to it. It's going to take more time to reach a bigger goal, but you can do more time every single day. This business is not hard, but it is rewarding when you are able to put that time in. And at the beginning, it may not seem like much, but like I said, when you create that momentum, then it's going to compound. So that's another book, if you have not read it before, is The Compound Effect. Highly recommend it. And then schedule that time, get to work in that time. So schedule your time, and I know this is different for everyone, but like say you do it during nap time, so that might be variable every day, but you have to kind of give yourself and tell yourself, okay, as soon as my kids lay down, I need to get to work, and this is what I'm going to do in that time. You have to be crystal clear about that if you are limited on time. To be like, okay, I have this pocket of time. This is what I got to do when I have that available. Even if it is different every single day, you just got to do it. And don't hesitate, because that will prolong it. And like I said, you have to just do it right then and there. The other thing is, at the end of every day, ask yourself, did I give it my all? So if you set out for your list, did you complete your list that day? Did you get everything done that you needed to that day? Did you give it your all in that? If not, then that's something you need to focus on. All right. And then obviously putting it into action. So it's one thing to learn a bunch of stuff and then not do anything with it. I've done it before. We've all done it, where we take these calls and we're like, oh my gosh, that was so good, but we do nothing about it. Or we read personal development and we do nothing about it. You have to put it into action. So your intensity, ask yourself, how fast do you want to get to where you want to be? That depends on your goals, what your why is, what's the deadline for that. That will determine how fast you want to get there and how much you're willing to put in the work to get there. Some people say they want to get to diamond, but are you going to do what it takes to get there, and how fast do you want to get there? Belief. Develop a belief in yourself and what you have to offer through action. So a lot of people think that they don't believe in themselves. Maybe they feel like, I'm not that great of a coach, or I don't have all the answers, or I don't have a great transformation, or this or that. And I could come up with 100 excuses, right? We've all heard them before. Maybe you've told them to yourself, but if you read personal development and you are doing the work, eventually you will have the belief. It's not something that you have right away. It's something that you work on. So belief is something that you work on. It's not just one day you're going to have it. You just have to work on it through personal development and doing the actions of working out, drinking your shake, your Shakeology, and messaging people. You will develop a belief in yourself in doing that. And then obviously momentum, what this is all about, it's just all determined on the action that you take, how much action you take, and how much you are willing to do and the effort that you are going to put in. But other than that, that was all about momentum and staying consistent to grow to where you want to be. If you do this, for even a week, I challenge you to just do this and show up and do the small things for an entire week, for a power hour every single day. You know, say that you're going to do your power hour in the team, or say that you are in our group chat, whatever it may be. If you put it out there, you will do it. And I challenge you to do it for a week. And then after you do a week, do another week, because those are the small things that will get you there to where you want to be. But other than that, that is all that I had for tonight. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your night, and that you start putting this into action tonight. Other than that, I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.